using in jazz standards. So we have basically two very popular modes of the melodic minor, which is the seventh mode seventh mode is called the super Locrian or diminished whole tone. Okay, and the fourth mode is the Lydian. Okay, so these are the two modes most popular in standard. Okay, there is another mode which is the fifth, which is also used. This is the it's called like this. Okay, so this is a Mixolydian mode with a sharp 4. This is a Mixolydian mode with a sharp 13. And this one is the famous diminished whole tone. Okay, so this is 3 ways of playing the melodic minor scale, right? So when do we use this in bebop tunes and standards? This is for ultra dominants. Any dominant we want to play with the flat 9 and the alternate fifth. Okay, so the difference between the super Locrian and the diminished scale is the fifth. The diminished scale has a perfect fifth and 8 notes, and the super Locrian has always an alternate fifth and 7 notes. Okay? So this is used on dominants.
所以睇得明點解佢叫 diminished whole tone 啊？因為佢前面4粒音咧，1降2降3。
Okay, these alt dominants. When we want to hear flat 9 plus flat 13 or sharp 5 is the same. Okay? So this is when people use the super Locrian. Some people use the super Locrian all over the place. But then becomes very boring because there are other scales. Okay? Okay. This one is for tritone dominants. Like this. Okay? Every time you have a tritone dominant, which is a substitute of the fifth, you play the diminished Lydian dominants. Okay?
即係如果你 D flat 7去 C major 7嘅時候咧 ，D flat 7你就
because if you play this with the Lydian dominant and the bass player plays G, sounds the super Locrian. It's the same scale. So it's the same thing.
你喺 G7 上面玩 super Locrian，同喺 D flat 7上面玩呢個 Lydian dominant 咧，其實啲音係完全一樣嘅。 不過睇你從 D flat seven，D flat 個音開始計定從 G 開始計，音係完全一樣。
Okay, so we use the Lydian dominant every time a dominant resolves half step.
咁記住
Okay?
呢個如果佢係向下半音解決嘅呢個 dominant 咧，咁就一定係玩呢隻嘅 Lydian dominant，即係升4降7呢個。
It's called Lydian dominant because it's a cross between the Mixolydian and the Lydian mode. No?
Lydian 即係升4嘅意思啊嘛
Cross
即係降7嘅意思。
is an hybrid. Sharp 4, Lydian, flat 7, dominant. Okay? Of course, I repeat again, these scales come from the licks, the phrases that the bebop players played and play. Okay? The names were first given in the 60s and after that to teach jazz in the schools. Okay? Because the bop musicians since Charlie Parker, they played this all the time. But they didn't know, they never thought the scales like this. I think they just play the alterations of the chords, and the result sound is this. Okay, like you can hear, like when you start to transcribe bebop solos, you can really identify the altered dominant. Okay, since the 40s, the beginning of bebop, they play the altered dominant, and this Lydian dominant, they are all the time playing this Lydian dominant because they love this. Okay, and this one is used normally in this position when the 6th dominant secondary dominant goes into the second. Some people play this in this situation, that scale, because it stays the most close to the tonality, no? So it's like in like A7 going to D minor.
排翻啲音出嚟咪知啦。嗱是升哆、re、mi、fa、sol 啦，除咗升哆之外咧，其他音全部都係 C 大調。
So it's like La, Si, Do, Re. No. Sol, La, Si, Do, Re, flat. No? The scale in G is like, in G, in ear is like A, B, C sharp, D, okay, E flat, F. It's like a, sorry, E, F, G, A. Okay, it's this. So this is the flat 6. So in the key of C, you play this scale to go to D minor. Okay? Of course, I don't like to play this scale, but a lot of people play, you know. So when you play this scale, you just go play the C sharp to go to D minor. And the rest of the notes are in the key of C.
第三位一定要㗎啦，所以你照可以將個發升咗佢㗎，喺 A set 嗰個當下。
But this is not very popular. I mean, the top ones are really popular. Everybody plays those scales. Okay? So the other modes of the melodic minor are used for modal tunes. Okay? For different things outside of the standards and bebop. They are used for more modern compositions. Okay? So if you want to play these scales in the bebop and standard, bossa nova, whatever, commercial music style, you use these two. You know, the altered dominant is very popular in Latin music, like in bossa nova, solos, you know, solos and melodies, you know, and this one also very popular in American music standards, and also bossa nova and all these types of music that use this kind of chords. Okay, more complex chords. Okay, So, for now, and for to play well over standards and bebop tunes, the top two scales are, you should master this. You should be able to play phrases on these scales with very easily, okay? Of course, like when you play the Lydian dominant, the first scale, I repeat again, the bebop players always used the chord tones, not scales. Basically, they play over the chord tones, and they put together the chord tones with the rest of the notes, so it becomes a scale out of that. So, if a bebop musician has a C7 and he wants to play flat 9 and sharp 5th or flat 13, probably he plays this. Okay? So this is like all the notes are here. So this probably comes from this. And this type of phrases, if you analyze Charlie Parker, Miles Davis, whatever solos from that time, always, they can go this way. So it's an ultra dominant sound. Can you play that, Rick? This? With a C7. Okay, so it's like sharp 9. There is missing one flat 9 here. I can put flat 13. Okay. Sharp could be chromatic, not flat 6, but you can do like this. I do it different. This is more what I want to say. Flat 13, flat 5th, going to F. Can you play this? Okay? So you have the flat 13 here, the flat 5th going to the 1. Okay? And the rest of the chord tones in a arpeggio, flat 9, okay, etc. So, what happens when this is in the bebop? So from this type of phrases, okay, from this type of phrases come the use and the sound of the superloquium. I may write other scales, but other phrases in arpeggios, but you will find when you start to transcribe solos. It's full. They all play this. They play this, or the version that suggests the diminished sound, which you have to really be aware of this, because this makes the difference. Like they play exactly the same, but this way. Okay, if you play this, and Charlie Parker is all the time playing this. If you play this, you are not playing the altered. Okay? Why? This should be flat. No. Can you play that? normally they do like ti da do de, like this. Exactly. Do do de do de, or do do de do de.
因為 auto 咧13唔係講嘅，13同5都唔係講嘅。
So this sound do ba ba beep diminished. Do ba ba beep altered. Is the difference. Because over C7 chord with this note it's always the super long. It's impossible. Or eventually the harmonic minor, of course. The harmonic minor of F, possible, but not with this note. The harmonic minor of F is a G natural. Okay? So it's when you see phrases like this, and if you pick the Omni book with the Charlie Parker solos or whatever, if you are lazy to transcribe the solos by yourself, if you start to analyze, you will see all the time these phrases, all the time, all over the place. Some more or less go this way with the natural 13, others go with the flat 13. So you know what the guy is playing. You know, you want, if it's the natural 13, it's always the diminished sound. Can't be, because if you put this in an arpeggio, if you put an F sharp here, da da da, it's diminished chord, which they were all the time playing this. But this one is not diminished, okay? Because it's impossible to play a diminished arpeggio here. It's missing the A. So A is spoiling the party. Okay, so these are the two ways of finding if the guy, the soloist, is thinking about the altered dominant sound with the flat 13 or the diminished sound with the natural 13. Okay? About this, the Lydian dominant.
記住啦，你想要個還原13%就用 diminish，如果你要聽到個降13%咧，就要用 alter。
Okay, the Lydian dominant, typical phrase on the Lydian dominant could be like for instance. And in this case, is a Lydian dominant going to in a fourth, but you can put like, no, as I said.
以 B 大調嚟計㗎，咁就啱。C 咧唔係5級嚟嘅，C 係降2級啊呢個情況，所以咧就用 Lydian dominant，佢個4音係升嘅。
So this is the.
其實你睇翻升4嗰個音，或者係 F sharp 7嘅根音啊嘛，所以點解會出現呢個升4嘅音？因為 C7 係 F sharp 7嘅替代嚟㗎嘛，所以佢保留翻 F sharp 7，F sharp 呢個音，所以就變成。
Can you play that, Rico? Okay. So this note, when you play the chromatic dominant, this note is already the fifth of the next chord. So makes the transition between the two chords. Because all the other notes, they are most of them are different. Now from this scale, is the major B major scale. Okay? So there are I don't remember now. Yeah, this one. A famous jazz phrase. Practically all the musicians play this phrase. I write here, which is the beginning of a standard tune. play this song, this phrase, you will realize that you heard this several times. Da di do di da 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 di. Okay, can you play that? Da di do di da. Okay, da di do di da ba da ba. Okay. Da di do di da 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 di. Okay, everybody plays this phrase. It's the beginning of a tune called Gone with the Wind. It's a standard. If you analyze solos from all the players, different players, saxophone players, trumpet players, trombone players, piano players, everybody plays this phrase. Why? Because it become like very popular, the beginning of this song. And exactly this phrase fits in a Lydian dominant phrase. Okay? Exactly as in the Super Locrine I told you the first week. There's ti ta po 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 do po do. This is another standard ti da do po do po do. I don't remember the name, but this is the beginning of another song, which is, you know, with the passage of the years, jazz musicians start incorporating in the phrasing a lot of melodies from known songs, and they used in different harmonic situations. Okay, so this one is very popular. You should learn this one. Everybody use this. You can start a dominant chord, a minor chord with this. Whatever. So this note can. Okay. So to end the explanation about this, the melodic minor scale, the important modes to play in standards are these three. The first two ones are really important. So all the musicians should learn this scale and know how to use this scale. And another thing is, don't try to invent your phrases. Try to copy good phrases from the good players, because probably your phrases will sound always worse. Okay? So if you want to learn a very kicking ass phrase in the Super Locrine, go and check Miles Davis, Clifford Brown, whatever. Any good player. Don't say, like I had some students in the past that said, no, I invent my own phrases. Everything is invented. And if you want to learn this language, better copy and then incorporate in your own language. Okay? If you learn a foreign language, you cannot invent phrases. You have to learn the words, the grammar, and then talk as the other people talk. Otherwise, or they consider you crazy or a poet, a genius poet, which says things that nobody says. Okay, but anyway, jazz language is a musical language, so don't try to sit down and, okay, I know this scale, so I'm going to write some phrases here. No, your phrases will always sound bad. Okay, so don't do that, it's a waste of time. So, the harmonic minor scale in bebop the harmonic minor scale in bebop and standards, it's only used in the 5th position. Okay? So this is C harmonic scale. It's used only in this mode. It's the fifth mode. All the other modes are not used in bebop and standards. But this scale can be very useful for modern compositions. Very useful. Because if you stick together like these two chords, a very strange sound. Can you play that? A flat triad major with G triad on top. Yes. Okay. This is practically all the notes of the harmonic minor together in two triads, one on top of the other. Very dissonant sound, very modern. Can be used in if you write music for a movie or the first chord of a tune or something like that. So these two chords, if you put the notes all together, there are the 6 notes of the harmonic minor scale. It's only missing one note. No? Harmonic minor, F, yes. Okay. Every time you see, and you will see if you start to investigate modern tunes, you'll start to see this kind of fractionary chord symbols. You know this?
Polychords.
Yes. This is a polychord. This is not well over the place accepted the same nomenclature, the same way of classifying the chords. But normally when you see this, it's a polychord. Okay? Means that there are 2 chords, one on top of the other. Very good for the pianists. Just play one chord here and the other chord here. For the guitar it's not so good. Maybe 2 friends, one play A flat and the other play G. Okay? So, when you see a chord symbol like this, do you know the difference? Who knows the difference?
Just A flat.
Yes. Yes. This is much less dense sound because it's a triad with a bass note. Yes. So this is this, okay? Totally different. It's triad of G with A flat on bass. So this makes the difference. When you write chords like this way, be careful with this thing. If it's not clear, people don't know. So you start to hear really crazy chords. So when you see this, don't be afraid because it's a really nice sound. It's not a modern tune. It's an inversion. Can you play C major with E on bass? You see? Nice. Okay? But if I put this, watch out. This is really dissonant. Okay? But better, I prefer this, the opposite. Okay, I prefer this. This is more nice. Yes. Okay? So, when you start to see these tunes in modern composition, you say, what the fuck I'm supposed to play here? Okay, first thing you have to do, if it's a polychord, is put all the notes together. So, here you have 6 notes to play already. Okay, if you see something like this, Okay, if you have something like this, what should you play here?
我都冇背呢啲。
What's the scale that you pick to play over this chord?
咁你諗下你有
Sorry, this is a polychord, not like this.
咁你有拿聖度 Mi， 你又有佛啊多。
What do you think? Piano players. Piano players, what do you think about an F major in the left hand and an A major in the right hand?
但問題你拉還原啊。
What do you think? D minor is cool, melodic. Can you play this sound? F major 7th in the left and A major. Okay, you have a C sharp, and you have and the C sharp collides with the C down. But if you pick the melodic minor scale, you are mostly inside, and you have also the C sharp in the scale. So this sound is good, you know, to play. Okay, so if you see these impossible voicings like this, like two chords at the half step, one on top of the other, the good choice always is the harmonic minor. Do you understand this? If you see two chords at half step distance, one on top of the other, harmonic minor. The only problem is see in which harmonic minor this occurs. You know, between the 5th degree and the 6th degree of E minor harmonic. Hey, E minor harmonic. This is the 5th, this is the 6th, flat 6. It's the only position where this occurs. This is very important. Can you play this chord and E harmonic minor, and it will fit perfect. Now play E harmonic minor. That's good. Because it's the only scale we use where there are two chords and half step is the harmonic minor. No more scales. Two chords, major, sorry. Which is E minor harmonic, this is B, this is C, together. When you use this type of polychords, which are polychords, several chords, then preferably the chords that work best are the major chords because they are more stable, okay? Always. Don't try to do polychords with diminished chords and minor chords because it's probably will sound very bad, okay? So, for instance, I learned years ago that I can end an arrangement for a big band with this chord. I show you. Put a C on bass, like trombone, here, okay? Then do a glorious C major chord, here. And then on top, put this. And this sounds great. It's like C major with D major and D major. Huh? Yes? Can you play this? No, maybe two keyboards. You play the C major and D major and then Rico plays. It's like all the triads at a second. So this is E major, this is D major, and this is C major. Okay? Can you play that? You see? Say all the notes sound like the extensions of the next chord. I mean, the next chord sound like D major sounds like the extension of C, and E major sounds like the extension of D, and on top of this I could put F sharp.
Oh, the whole.
No, the sound is not is major. It's like a super major chord. If I put F major, F sharp major on top, this F sharp major sounds like the extensions of E major. E major sounds like the extensions of D major, and D major sounds like the The extension of C. Can you both play this? So, C with D on top and then E with F sharp on top. All the notes. Okay, you hear this in classical music, like in Messiaen music. Again, come on, you play the two chords and you play the top two together. Ping. Let's go. Okay, so it sounds pretty dissonant, but it makes a sense to our ears because each chord is the top of the other chord. Okay, all in seconds. Which scale to play here? Good question. You said old tone, maybe. Da 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 da. Yeah, it's a question of trying because the old tone scale fits with these notes. Okay, so the best way to work with this is starting to try different combinations of chords. So, just to let you know, if you want to do like a Dorian tune, just use a minor chord and play the modal note. What is the important note of the Dorian? That makes the difference. I explained this the first week. Is the sixth. So if you want to a tune that sounds really, really modal in Dorian, please somebody has to play the sixth. Okay? Or repeat two chords that one has the sixth. If I want to play a Dorian tune, if I do this, this will sound Dorian. Because this one sounds like the root and this one has the modal tone. Okay? Correct? Okay. So if I want to do the cousin of this, if I want to do an Aeolian tune, what chord should I put in second? Aeolian in D. Don't use dissonant chords. Use stable chords. Aeolian. If I want to make this Aeolian, maybe G minor? Because G minor belongs to the Aeolian mode in D, and there's the modal note, the B flat. Can you play this like slowly, the two chords, repeat 3 or 4 times so we can hear this is the Aeolian? Even you can play the D all over the place, like D here on bass. Can you do this? Yeah, this is Aeolian. Okay? If you do D and E with D on bass, you have a Dorian sound. Can you do that? The first example. D minor, E minor. Okay, this is Dorian. This is Dorian. Okay, so do you understand? This is very easy. So if you want to do an introduction or a modal introduction in Phrygian, in D, what chord should we put second? Question. Phrygian. What's the modal note in Phrygian that makes the difference? E flat, the flat 2, right? In Phrygian is the mode, the flamenco Spanish mode, okay? So what's the note that really sings? The flat 2. So if we put like this, for instance, that's cool. Can you play that with the both chords with the bass here on D? Can you play that? Okay, this is Phrygian. So pianists, you know, any tune, minor tune for introduction for a singer, you want to do this really sad. Just play these two chords and you make it Phrygian. Phrygian is more minor than the minor, you know, because there's one more flat. The more flats you put, more sad. Okay? So, Aeolian song is really sad. No, but a Phrygian song is more sad because there are one more flat, and the Locrian song that's terrible. the singer will suicide. Huh? Because there's another flat on top. Okay, so these things about the modes are really cool and really interesting because it opens different ways of working with music. Okay, so of course musicians mix up modes and all these theories about modes with tonal tunes. Like you can do a nice ballad, jazz ballad, with a modal introduction, or even a modal interlude in the medium. So you can, in the middle of the song, you can put some modal, then you go back to tonal, and so on. It's a question of good taste. Okay? So, if I want to do in D a Lydian song, and this has to sound Lydian, what chord should I put here? If I put these two chords, what do you think? This will sound Lydian. Can you play this? Okay, this is Lydian. So, what is the technique for this? It's like the second chord needs the modal note, the important note has to be there. If you want to make modal with two chords, if you only want to make modal with one chord, you have to put the modal note in the first chord. Okay? Normally people prefer to do this because it's more fun, no? Playing two chords and make it sound modal. Okay, so if I want to do Mixolydian in D, okay, I don't play D7 because if I play D7, it's not modal. Be aware of that. Never play Mixolydian with a D7 chord, because if you play D7, you are playing the fifth of G, or then you are playing a blues, which is not exactly. So if you want to sound modal, don't play dominants. Never. Very dangerous. So making a Mixolydian over D without playing D7. C. Okay, C is very good. And now we have this Mexican song. Can you play this? You see, this sounds totally Mixolydian because you have the modal note, which is the seventh, flat seventh. It's here. So this Mexican song, very popular. This Mexican song is made in the Mixolydian mode. Okay? I think it's Mexican. I don't know. It's from that area. It's Caribbean song. Okay. So, if I want to do something Aeolian, we did already. If I want to do something Locrian, Locrian is very complicated. Because the first chord is diminished. And I told don't use kind of dominant. Diminished is always dominant sound, okay? As I explained the first week, I said that the diminished chord, or the seventh chord of a major key is diminished or half diminished, goes into dominant because of the tritone, okay? So, if you want to play modal, don't play tritones. So, in Locrian, normally we do, yes, we do kind of, we are not totally, I explain. Normally we play a minor chord, which is wrong, but it's stable. The chord should be diminished, in this case triad. And then here we put the modal notes, which are modal notes in Locrian are 1 at least, which is the flat fifth, right? So we should put a chord here belonging to the mode, which has the flat fifth there. So what you think?
E flat minor.
Huh?
E flat minor.
E flat minor is a good one. So this is not totally correct because this should be diminished. But when we play modal, we need the first chord stable. If the first chord is a diminished chord, this will never sound. Okay? So, can you play this, please? Okay. Yes. So if you play like ton, exactly ton. Okay. It's like da de 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 da da do 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 do. It's a flat fifth. No?
Yeah.
Okay. So you understand? Normally we use. You can hear old recordings of John Coltrane from the 60s. Playing these extended modal tunes, and sometimes the guy goes to Locrian because he's tired to play Phrygian. Phrygian is the typical Spanish. You know, this kind with the soprano saxophone. You know, that was so much played since that time that sometimes the guy goes to Locrian because Locrian is a super Phrygian. It's even more dark, okay, more flat. But it's the only mode we have to do kind of an artificial adjustment to make the first chord, the modal tonic, stable. Because if you do this with D diminished, you will never establish a key. Because the diminished chord is very rebel, never likes to be... The diminished chord doesn't go anyway, it's never as a key center, okay? So, what musicians do is do a little adjustment on the fifth and then play the modal tone here. So, this becomes kind of more stable. Okay? So, this ends this for now. Of course, all this is much more complex, and the only way now to start to learn how these things work is analyzing and try to play tunes using this. Okay, is the next step. Is in a practical way, because on theory you say, okay, cool, I understand. Another way to learn this is writing tunes in this style. So using these techniques. So one thing you should do is try to write a tune with kind of a modal passage in one given mode. So you use these devices, okay, and probably it will sound okay. Another way, which is the most important, is analyzing tunes using modes. I told already Mars about and I'm giving it now, some list of composers. Okay, as I told you, one of the first weeks, the modal jazz appeared officially for the history with the record of Miles Davis called kind of okay. This is the first recording. Now it's widely accepted. Widely accepted that this is the first recording where assumed modal tunes were recorded. Okay. So one of the tunes here is So What, which is totally a Dorian tune. Okay. This is the first time. It's the first time that modal music appears in jazz in a kind of organized way. So what B11s? No, not B11s. So what is not B11s? I guess it's the other guy is Wynton Kelly. Anyway, what the pianist does when they play the tune is like two chords. One has the modal note and the other is the key. Okay. So the bass plays the melody. And analyzing these tunes, you will learn quickly how to work with modals. This is the most basic one nowadays.
Yeah, it's B11s.
Huh?
Yes.
B11s?
Yes, it is.
How is this phrase? I have to check on the piano. Can't remember. Like, since that time, all jazz musicians play these kind of modal chords.
四度嚟嘅，巴八四度嚟。類似南美梳、
Like
傻多花咁樣。蘇屈
I think it's like this one. So the two chords are like. Okay, basically it's this. Okay, so this is Dorian scale. Modal note is here. And then the famous so what chords. It doesn't play exactly like this, but this is enough. Okay, G and F, triads. Okay, so if you have this sound here and these two chords here, you have the modal note here, and this F over D sounds like B minor, and this sounds like E minor, right?
E minus.
Exactly what I said. Okay, this is the example of a modal tune. If Miles Davis wanted to play this in Phrygian, he had simply make this. Maybe this. Exactly. Let's do this. It's more obvious like this. Exactly. Like this. E flat major, F major. Can you play that? Now it's Phrygian. And then. Exactly. Okay. Nice.
Is it?
Nice.
We can write a song.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kind of purple.
No, when I told you already, I guess, when I was studying this, I used to go and then, okay, let's write a song based on this, but totally different mode, which is really funny. And I remember about giant steps, I was studying giant steps, and the giant steps is composed in basically tonalities away from a major third, okay? And I went home and I composed a tune. It was called Dwarf Steps. The dwarf is a small guy.
G.
Okay, this tune of mine, Dwarf Steps, sounds exactly like Giant Steps, but instead of going to major tonalities in major thirds, it goes to major tonalities in minor thirds. But the technique is exactly the same. Look, Giant Steps goes like this. Okay, the guy starts on da da da. The guy starts on B. Okay, he starts on B, and then he wants to go to G, and then he wants to go to E flat. Okay, basically it's this. Okay, so this is the division of the one octave in 3 equal parts. Okay, if you go from B to B, you divide the octave in 3 parts. So here we have 3 major keys. Can you play B, G, and E flat, please? And then, yeah, okay. And then the next will be B again. No? Okay, so what did Coltrane? Just put a dominant here. Only. That's it. It's Giant Steps. Can you play that? No, play it right, please. B major, D7, G, B flat 7, E major, B flat. Yes. Okay. So, Giant Steps is going 3 major keys in a major third interval. So it's like this, going to this, and going to this. Okay? Nowadays, this kind of the guys from the R&B soft this kind of American black guys, they do very nice songs with girls singing with this chord. So what Coltrane did, he wanted to go from B to G, and from the time of Coltrane, he's a bebop player. To go to any key, you have to go through the dominant, right? So he played like, and then going to E flat. That's it. This is Giant Steps. So, what I decide to do. This is major third, okay? Major third. Yeah, the problem with Giant Steps is like it's terribly fast. That's the problem about the song. Okay, so I tried this and it works. But because you divide the octaves in 4 parts, you have Coltrane goes deeper, quicker. I go slower. Yeah, so you understand? So if you do this, you have the dwarf steps. This is called dwarf steps. This is Giant Step. So, again, I do as Coltrane did. Just play the dominant here, then a dominant here, then a dominant here. Okay? And here we go with the dwarf steps. Not as brilliant as Giant Steps, but it works. Pure mathematics. Okay? So this is like B, then E flat 7. You see? It sounds like Giant Steps. It's like Giant Steps, but smaller. Everything is smaller. No. Nice. And then. So it's like. I have to practice this. Okay. Also, you can do also even smaller giant steps, which is going from to 6 different tonalities in steps.
啊，係啊。咁佢係行完大三你兩可以行。
You know.
B 去 A，A 去 G，G 去 F，F 去 E 咧。
So this is kind of jokes, musical jokes, very interesting to develop your brain, you know, musical brain. So if you want to do this, it's even smaller than giant steps.
So it's mini step. Mini steps.
And steps.
Yes.
So this goes like. No.
所以咧，全部五音用到晒嘅呢啲係可以用到晒。不過個概念就係用住一首歌。
Doesn't sound so nice because the keys are very close now. It's very close. It's kind of very obvious. Not so nice. I think the best one is the Coltrane one because it's division of the octaves in 3 parts. This goes like, let's see. Sounds more tonal, this one.
有似近係調啊嘛，爭一個厭咗爭一個係個近係調嘅。
Anyway, it still sounds giant steps a little bit because of the technique.
B E A 係一個厭音咯 ，A B G 係一個厭音，你一直見到 E A D 係一個厭音，即係佢基本上都係。
Okay, but the thing here about this, this tune also was published and was composed, published in the record in '59. So in '59 we had the top of the bebop heritage in the Coltrane record, and the new sound of the modal. Okay, in the Miles Davis record, which Coltrane also plays there.
1959年好重要一年，因為 Coltrane 將 bebop 玩到最盡就係 Giant Step 呢首歌，而同時咧
So probably in 1959 the aliens visit the United States and they talk to these guys, and they said you have to change the course of music now, because these 2 records still now. 54 years later, they are still the guides for the modern playing of jazz. So, in one side, you have the top of chords, no more chords than in giant steps. In the cycloped fifths, bebop tradition, no? Dominants going 5 going to 1s, okay? In the other side, you have the new style, new in jazz, the new style of the modal playing, okay? So the modal playing is the minimum of scales of chords, just enough chords to make the mode clear, no more, okay?
mode 就完全係打散晒以前啲嘢嘅，越少曲越好，淨係攞聲嘅啫，明唔明啊？所以嗰個音樂
Why Coltrane was fascinated by this division of the octave in 3 parts, 3 equal parts? I think it's because you go very quick to very outside, or totally different key if you do by major thirds. Minor thirds, not that much, and here even less. So if you go by minor thirds, there are some common notes between the keys, no? But with this step, it's very radical. I think the only way to go more away from the key is playing off step up or a tritone. Okay?
Coltrane 就揾到呢個方式，你諗翻個5度圈咧，佢咁樣大3度咁樣轉調係最遠嘅，短時間內走得最遠嘅呢個方式。除咗半音之外，就係呢隻啦，即係個調性走得最遠嘅話 ，B 去 G 係唔爭好多聲講噶嘛 ，G 去 E 反而係爭好多聲。咁唔用我咁樣方。
Okay. So.
五風都有次咯，你墮去原聲鬆聲鬆。
I think
冇5度啊，對換音咯。唔係佢講對稱嘅方式，對稱嘅方式拉個3角係最遠。
So for you to remember,
小3度咪
the idea of Coltrane was going down in major thirds. Okay.
即係佢唯一揾到
To getting
調裏邊就最
getting quickly away of the first, the original key, very quick away. With the system, at the time for him was the more logical, because he was a bebop player. So the system he used is with the dominance. Okay. So I think also that years later, few years later, Coltrane started to play in his solos just this. He took the dominance off and then he started to switch keys straight. That's when people say that when he plays outside, you know, because maybe he was playing in G and suddenly you hear the guy playing in B or in E flat, or playing a tune in B and suddenly he's playing in G or in E flat. What the people say is this guy is outside, he's playing outside of the chord. But then because he invented all the system, he could come back again. Okay, so that's the tricky thing about Coltrane playing, and all the guys that after Coltrane made books and books and books about this way. It's very easy in a way to make the predictability of Coltrane music is very easy to put on books.
Coltrane
because it's totally mathematic.
特別迷人嘅，好多人聽非常之仰慕嘅，因為佢好多歐西嘅嘢。但係佢其實點解歐西其實從呢度嚟嘅？即係譬如另外一首歌淨係 B major 嘅啫，但係佢自己吹埋啲 G 啊，吹埋啲 E 嘅嘢搭埋入去。咁嗰啲人咪好吹刺入嘅，但係佢唔係淨係走出，佢出去入得翻嚟嘅。所以嗰樣嘢就係其實係一個咁嘅邏輯推出嚟嘅。所以啲人之後就不斷咁去研究嘅。
So he used this mathematical system, which is in music is since the time of the Greeks. The guys always like to, the scientists always like to mess a little bit with music because it's close, you know, like it's possible to have a scientific approach dealing with the sounds, okay? So Coltrane experimented this in popular music. He was not a classical composer of serialism or whatever, nothing like this. It was a popular music, jazz is popular music. So with the tools he wanted to use, he went this far, okay, and opened the way for all the rest after that, you know. The same as Miles Davis, he opened the way for all the rest after this, okay. So nowadays jazz is a mix of these two worlds. You know, more in that, more in this, mixed up. Anyway, there are no more ways to go. There is a third way that people use. So this is Coltrane, this is Miles Davis, and I put here another guy which is very influential nowadays, which they used to say he invented the free jazz, which is Ornette Coleman. So Miles Davis, kind of blue. John Coltrane, giant steps. Ornette Coleman. Okay, what invented Ornette Coleman? Ornette Coleman is a jazz musician that come also from the bebop and the rhythm and blues, okay? Because the early tunes of Ornette Coleman, they have a lot of bebop influences. There are some in the real book. One is very nice. The Blessing. It's a Ornette Coleman, very nice. It's a bebop tune. It's in the real book. Okay. But Ornette Coleman comes from a different. The first recordings you can hear, you know, tunes are quite bebop, not as complex as Coltrane, of course. But he always had one thing, and he explored that, which is the kind of chanting way of playing, coming from folk music, American folk music, like and church. Okay, so. Elements that were very far from jazz at that time, because these guys were since bebop, these guys were total intellectuals, like almost chamber music players, okay? So Ornette Coleman come with this kind of
上網睇下呢個人啦，識講。
Okay? And with all these elements, he started to play first recordings he played with piano. After 1 or 2 years, no piano. What happened? With no piano, he could go anywhere and play whatever he wanted. So, people say he invented the free jazz. Okay? And really. So he became more radical in the 60s till he played really totally free. Okay? So he opened the way for another perspective in modern jazz, which is modal here, very complex and mathematical there, okay? And there kind of folkish and whatever influence, like I play very modern and complex, but I have kind of, I sound a little bit Chinese, or I sound a little bit Portuguese. He opened the way to this, okay? You understand? Or I sound a little bit like I'm playing in the mountains and I have a kind of whatever sound, you know. So this is contrary of these guys, because these guys in the jazz at the time, they were like almost chamber music players. They played strictly that kind of language coming from the bebop. And this guy comes with this kind of folkish way of playing blues, soul, church, American church music, chanting, you know, like, you know, things that are common in popular music and in folk music, okay? So, when this mixed up, we have nowadays all the players they love Ornette Coleman because of these things he bring from outside of this world. This world is totally intellectual, urban, kind of urban, direct heritage from bebop, because you have to understand this, it's like bebop, apart from a revolution in music, was a revolution socially for the black American musicians, because for the first time they were not entertainers, okay? Because from the other times before bebop, Louis Armstrong is the eternal entertainer, the guy playing the drum and smiling and sweating and everybody, wow, very nice. He's the typical entertainer. The bebop player is a guy that does move, come, blah, 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 plays very complex music. The people don't know exactly what it is. Very fast, it's impossible to dance. No, played for other intellectuals. So, what happened with in bebop days? This during the Second World War and after the war, right after. The some jazz musicians become artists, not entertainers. It's a big difference. I don't know if you understand this. An artist is somebody that does something artistically, has to be respected because it's not for entertaining you when you are having beer or chasing the girls or whatever. An artist is something you pay to go and listen to the guy play. Entertainer is some guy that is playing in the casino, okay? Where you are gambling, okay? And I have nothing against entertainment, so it's a different way of being in music. And a lot of musicians, when they get good pay, they do the entertainment, they go to play anywhere for entertainment, and when they can, they do the artists, okay? So they go and the people pay to see them play, not to be entertained, okay? So, in that time, these guys, the bebop guys, they made the revolution that, okay, this music is not for dance, it's not for you to be entertained, this music is to listen. So, that's the reason they play the tunes very fast. For stopping dancing. No more dancing, impossible. It's true. And the bebop tunes were always very fast for impossible to dance, because till the revolution was really done, people used to go to jazz clubs. I'm telling you till that time, the 40s. No, they used to go to jazz clubs to have drinks, smoke, you know, get girls and dance. Of course, normal, like discotheques from that time. You know, when these guys appeared and started to play, a lot of people said, "Oh, this guy." This is horrible, I cannot dance, I cannot talk, these guys are... They don't move, they don't do... like a Satchmo, like Louis Armstrong. It's a different thing. These guys come like very... You can see the photos. Like... You know? So it's a different way that the guys found a way to be socially, artistically accepted. Okay? So nowadays, of course, nothing like that exists anymore. But the attitude of the bop players and the jazz musicians is like that. I'm telling you another story to finish this, which is like what happened in the 80s with Wynton Marsalis, the Marsalis brothers. As you know, the jazz in the 60s, jazz music in the 60s, went into this, Coltrane went into modal too, and Miles Davis went into a very crazy electronic, fusion, whatever. And and Ornette Coleman went into more free and so on, then all these things mixed up. And then the 70s, all these musicians, they start to dress like rock guys. If you see the pictures from the 70s, all the musicians start to have long hair and have African dresses, and kind of the apparatus external was like rock guys. Okay. And this is my opinion, but I think this is quite the truth. And then the people like the traditional jazz musicians, like other guys, they start getting out of work because everybody liked the Weather Report, Miles Davis, crazy bands with all these guys, like rock playing fusion music, and these guys still playing the bebop heritage, like other guys, more small but very important. They had no work because they still play with double bass, not electric bass. They don't use the electric guitars with wah-wahs and all this shit. They use piano, acoustic piano, and the jazz guitar with no pedals, and no work, and play this music. So what the Marsalis brothers did, and these guys were always dressed like rock guys. Okay, the Marsalis, when they appeared first time in the Art Blakey Jazz Messengers in 80 or 81, they come again with this attitude from the 40s, dressed, and play like, very serious and playing really great. And what happened? All this freakish, kind of rockish in jazz, in the 80s, there was a kind of counter-revolution. The Marsalis way of being in jazz was the standard. So, all these guys with kind of African things and all these collars and smoking joints, off! And then again, all musicians dressed like paparapa, like Miles Davis and John Coltrane in the 50s. So that attitude is still on. I remember in the 80s, all the musicians I knew, they start to buy nice, they start to behave totally different. To play, they copied Marsalis. They come on stage like, again, instead of coming like smoking joint, hey, let's go with all the keyboards and all that, connecting cables. No, they come like, and play again this. And also the Marsalis music at the time was really, really in the old style, like Miles Davis in the 50s, 60s, no more. No keyboards, no electric guitars, no electric basses, nothing, just straight. So this is socially what happened. Of course, the record companies, they see, okay, these guys plays very good, now it's like that. So if you don't do like this, you are off. So all these freak guys, off. And Marsalis and all the guys dressed like Marsalis, on. Okay? So this has a lot to do with the record, the business in music, no? So nowadays it's more open. But anyway, this Marsalis approach is still very on. Now we see like guys like Kurt Rosenwinkel again with a hat, no coat, freak, kind of grunge approach again, It will change till the next, I don't know when, come again a pair of black guys or white guys and come again, dressed, playing this, again this, So jazz is all the time like this, Things get kind of loose, and then one day come the guys from the tradition and say, no, this should be like this. So the best way is knowing everything so you don't get caught by one style or the other. Okay, so we do a break and then after we go to play. Any questions? No questions. About the tune I wrote yesterday, it's difficult, but I have some exercise that we can try to play the tune, to read the tune. Okay. We talk about this.